For whatever reason, her solution was to lie. She told her parents initially that she went back to the same job that she had before Kaylee was born, working at Universal Studios for a subsidiary company, taking photographs, a daytime job. And her parents accepted that. They believed that. They both worked during the day, and it appeared that that's what she was doing. The significance of what I'm about to tell you isn't simply that Casey Anthony lied. It's the pattern and the reason that she lies that is important in this case. Because what you'll see in what I'm going to tell you and what you've heard in this case is that when Casey is faced with a problem, her solution is to change her lies, to modify it. Casey is very bright. You can't take any of that away from her. She's very smart, and her lies are very detailed. But what you find throughout this case is this persistent pattern. When Casey wants to do what Casey wants to do, Casey finds a way. So first she tells her parents, I'm working. I'm working during the day at Universal Studios. That sounds fine. It sounds very plausible. But the problem is that when you're working and you have a child, you have someone has to take care of the child. So the obvious question is, who's taking care of Kaylee? The solution? Make up a lie. So Casey makes up Zanny. So for almost 2 years, Casey Anthony pretends to have a job and pretends to have a nanny to take care of Kaylee while she's at work. And everything seems fine. But that creates a problem. The problem is that Casey's with Kaylee 24/7. She's with Kaylee every day and every night. Because when her parents think she's at work, she's not. She's with Kaylee. And what kind of life is that? So Casey solves the problem. The solution is a new job. A job as an event coordinator. A job with flexible hours. A job where sometimes she has to work at night. Perfect solution. If she wants to go out at night, if she wants to hang out with her friends, if she wants to see her boyfriend, she simply says, I have to work, and drops Kaylee off with her mother. And her mother is happy to help, happy to watch Kaylee. And that works for a while. Works well for a while. Everything is good. Casey can do what she wants, have the life that she wants, have the support of her parents, have Kaylee when it's fun, and when it's not, she can leave Kaylee with her mom. Everything works great. But then she meets Ricardo Morales, somebody that she feels she may actually have a relationship with, who accepts Kaylee as part of that relationship. But that creates a problem. How do you include Kaylee in the relationship without letting mom know that the whole thing is a lie? So you create a new solution. Oh, Zanny will take her overnight. We spend the night there. So in the spring of 2008, 3 or 4 nights a week, Casey and Kaylee stay at Zanny's. Another creation in this case. When in fact they're staying at Ricardo's house. And it works perfectly. It's great. Mom and Dad think that I'm working late, and so Kaylee is with Zanny, and it makes perfect sense for me to spend the night, and I can spend the night instead with my boyfriend. It works perfectly. It's great. But Ricardo decides that he really doesn't want a serious relationship. So this playing house isn't working anymore. Then we get into April and May of 2008, and this is where the problem starts, because the solutions of the lies are no longer giving Casey what she wants. It's not giving her the freedom that she wants. Remember from the testimony of Amy Huizenga, her friend, the friend of Ricardo and friend of hers, that friend through that period of April, May, and June of 2008, that Cindy is resisting. The excuse isn't working anymore. Cindy isn't allowing Casey to go out and do what she wants and babysit Kaylee. There's a tension there. The freedom that Casey wants just isn't there anymore, and she can't come up with a story to make it happen. But that's what she wants. Her parents are getting suspicious. Remember the story from Mr. Anthony about the Sports Authority job? That's in early 2008. George is getting suspicious. And George is trying to find out what's really going on. But George is being told to stay out of it. If you'll read George's suicide letter, it actually says in there, at one point, I think on the 3rd page, he says, I've tried for months, in fact, over a year, and I was told to stop being negative. George is trying to get beneath the layer of lies, at least as to the Sports Authority issue, but he's being told to stay out of it. Stop being negative. And Casey's lies continue. But there's a problem. The only way Casey's lies work is if Kaylee isn't talking. Kaylee's 2.5, almost 3. She's starting to become verbal. She's starting to talk. Kaylee is not going to cooperate. She can't. She doesn't know enough to lie. At some point, Kaylee is going to say something. Someone's going to ask her about Zanny, and she's going to say, who? Someone to ask her, did you have a good time at Zanny's? And she's going to say, no, Tony. It just can't keep going. Casey meets Tony. Tony has this life. He's free. He's a club promoter. He's out there at night with the loud music and dancing, and it's a great free life. With Tony, she can do whatever she wants. I believe the testimony was on June the 6th, and on June the 13th, they have the nightclub Fusion, and it's fantastic. Shot girls, music, dancing, young people doing what young people are supposed to do. And I want to say that clearly. There's nothing wrong with young people being young people. There's nothing with young people drinking and dancing and having fun. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not the life that Casey has, because Casey is a mom. And that gives her responsibility, whether she likes it or not. But that life is so much what she wants. During the week of June 2nd through June 9th, in fact, Casey has a chance to truly embrace that life, because Cindy was on vacation that whole week and spent most of it with Kaylee. Remember, she talked about how wonderful it was spending that week with her granddaughter. So that whole week, Casey is essentially free. She has a taste of that freedom. She doesn't have to lie to get around it. She's free. And it is fantastic. So she has a choice. A life tethered to a child, or a life free to be 22. You might ask yourself, well, why not just leave Kaylee with Cindy? Why not just give Cindy custody and walk away? Because based on the evidence you've heard in this case, Cindy would never permit Casey to walk away from Kaylee.